Hello everyone, Nacho Television from Ankara, Turkey. Welcome to our news program with me, Sauda Muganga. Here are our news headlines. The Turkish, Russian, Iranian leaders meet in Syria summit. President Erdogan, Putin and Rouhani appear in a joint news conference after their trilateral summit meeting on Syria in Russia. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani appear in a joint news conference after the meeting. Putin said the Astana process aimed at finding a settlement to the crisis was leading to a permanent political solution in Syria, adding that Russia, Turkey and Iran jointly work for the normalization of life in the war-torn country. He said a conflict-free state is being maintained in almost all of Syria as a result of tangible, positive outcome of joint efforts with Turkey. Erdogan said Syrian people in Turkey are longing for returning home, adding that Turkey had done its best for the Syrian refugees since the start of the war and provided $35 billion in aid in every area. Erdogan added, "We have preserved the spirit of Astana process despite all problems and provocations." Rouhani also said the US unfortunately protected terrorist groups in Syria and Iraq, adding that external intervention and the importance of liberating Syria from terror have been discussed at the Sochi summit with special emphasis on its territorial integrity. The world's biggest natural laboratory, Antarctica has long been the focus of explorers and scientific research teams with its challenging geography and climate. They include a Turkish team of scientists that is part of the third National Atlantic Science Exhibition, which is being accompanied by a team of journalists who are covering their progress and compiling data on the frozen continent. Described as the biggest desert on Earth, Antarctica is the coldest, highest, windiest and driest continent. The lowest temperature on the continent was recorded at Russia's Vostok station in 1983 at -89.2 degrees Celsius, while the highest temperature ever recorded there was 14.5 degrees Celsius. In April 2016, the first ever Turkish team of researchers, including doctors, botanists, geologists and oceanographers from 7 universities, traveled to Antarctica to study the impact of climate change. Turkey currently holds observer status at the Polar Research Center but hopes to see them eventually upgraded to consultative status. Turkey wants no new crisis to arise in Syria. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said on Thursday that Turkey does not want a new humanitarian crisis to arise in Syria. Neither in Idlib nor in other regions of Syria do we want a new humanitarian crisis and new tragedies to arise, Erdogan told a news conference with the Russian and Iranian counterparts following a trilateral summit on Syria in Russian coastal city of Sochi. Erdogan said Turkey will continue to do its part on Idlib. Erdogan said Turkey will continue to do its part on Idlib deal. He also called the Syrian regime to obey the ceasefire agreement. Last December, Trump abruptly announced plans to withdraw all 2,000 American troops from the war-weary country, saying the US-led coalition had succeeded in militarily defeating the Daesh terrorist group. In his remarks, Erdogan also criticized international organizations for failing. International organization for failing to financially support Syrians living in Turkey. The European Union has also sent 1.7 billion euros so far, while the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has sent around $750 million, said Erdogan, adding that this amount was sent to international aid organizations known to Turkey's budget. "We have spent around $35 billion from our own resources," he added. The president announced that the next round of the trilateral meeting between the leaders of Turkey, Russia and Iran will be held in Turkey in upcoming months. Anti- and pro-Brexit activists demonstration in London. Yesterday in England, the anti- and pro-Brexit activities demonstrate a British Parliament votes on government Brexit motion and a number of amendments with aim to reshape it around the parliamentary estate in London. Turkey, Russia, Iran back Syria's territorial integrity. In Sochi, the leaders of Turkey, Iran and Russia on Thursday expressed a firm stance against separatist agendas in Syria. The president expressed their determination to stand against separatist agendas aimed at undermining the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Syria as well as national security of neighboring countries, read statement released following the trilateral summit on Syria. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, his Russian counterparts Vladimir Putin, and Iranians Hassan Rouhani met in Russia's Black Sea resort of Sochi for the fourth time to discuss the situation in Syria. They discussed the situation in northeastern Syria and agreed to coordinate their activities to ensure security, safety, and stability in this area, including through existing agreements, while respecting sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Turkish VP receives Turkish Cypriotic PM in Ankara. The Turkish Vice President Fuat Oktay receives Turkish Cypriotic Prime Minister Sultan Erdogan at Presidential Complex in Ankara, capital of Turkey, yesterday. Collectors of rare vinyl LPs treasures trove in Turkey. While most millionaires have never ever laid eyes on a vinyl music record, many older collectors travel the world in search of rare albums. According to record sellers in Ankara, Turkey is a treasure trove of hard-to-find 45 and 78 RPM rounds per minute records, also known as LPs, from a range of musical genres. Because Turkey, while the US and Europe hasn't produced that many vinyl records, many of those that were made here are considered rare. Longtime collector Süleyman Özdrim said. For many collectors, however, it isn't just sound quality that drives their preference for vinyl, but the ritual of spinning a record of phonograph. It's more physical. Özdrim said, you take the record, clean it, put it on your phonograph, and carefully place the needle on it. And if you want to hear the other side, you have to physically flip it over. Having grown up listening to vinyl records, Özdrim now owns and manages Shades, a shop in Ankara's Çankaya district, sells cassettes, CDs, and vinyl LPs, many of which are relatively hard to find. Having grown up listening to vinyl records, Özdrim owns and manages Shades, a shop in Ankara's Çankaya district that sells cassettes, CDs, and vinyl LPs, many of which are relatively hard to find. In Nigeria, Buhari's scorecard 2023 race-shaped elections. 84 million registered voters on Saturday will vote in a presidential election featuring at least 70 candidates for the top job. Despite the scores of hopefuls, analysts have said the ballots will be a straight fight between President Muhammadu Buhari, the ruling All Progressive Congress incumbent, and Atiku Abubakar of the main opposition People's Democratic Party. The projection is based on the strength of the two parties, which have enormous presence across the country. Here are our sports news. Benfica edged Galatasaray 2-1 in Europa League. Turkey's Galatasaray were edged Thursday by Portuguese Benfica 2-1 in the first leg match of the round of 32 in Europa League. In the match at Türk Telekom Stadium in Istanbul, the Benfica gained advantage before the second leg at home. At the second highest level football competition in Europe, a penalty in the 26th minute was awarded following a controversial handball by Galatasaray's Marco. Eduardo Savio scored from the penalty spot at the 27th minute. Napoli's Slovakian star Hamšík moves to China. Marek Hamšík, a player at Italian's top Thai league, signed for a Chinese club Dalian Yifang on Thursday. The president of Italian club announced the move. The head of Napoli Football Club at Italy's Serie A said in a tweet that the Italian club agreed with Dalian Yifang for the transfer of Slovakian footballer. Italian media said that Dalian Yifang will pay 20 billion euros, approximately $22.5 million, for Napoli as transfer fee. Playing at central midfielder, Hamšík is regarded as a Napoli's veteran as he had played for the team since July 2007. Hamşik scored 121 goals and produced 111 assists in 520 appearances at Napoli. Thank you so much for watching our news program. You can check our programs on Natural Television YouTube channel or send us messages on WhatsApp number written on your screen. Sauda Muganga, Natural Television, Ankara, Turkey.